Throughout its history, North Carolina has made education a top priority. And when it comes to education, we have a history of leading. As recently as 2003, our 4th grade math scores were among the highest in the country. But since then, educational outcomes in North Carolina have mostly remained flat, while other states have continued to improve. And when other states and nations are moving ahead, staying where we are is the same as falling behind. We at Best NC believe it's time for North Carolina to once again lead the nation in education. We already have educators all across the state who are proving that new ideas like personalized learning, teacher leadership, and high expectations for all students can create extraordinary results. In fact, in 2016, North Carolina had the highest graduation rate in state history. And yet, even with this extraordinary achievement, 45% of employers in North Carolina are reporting hiring difficulties, and many of them are facing critical job vacancies. Think about that for a second. When 45% of businesses in the state have so many open jobs they have to use the word critical, that's when you know something's not right. Even though 86% of our students graduate high school, many of them are graduating without the skills they need to succeed in school, work, and life. In fact, North Carolina ranks near the bottom in ACT scores among similar states, and almost half of our graduates fail to meet benchmarks on any of the ACT subjects: math, science, English, and reading. We know that our educators and our students are working hard every day. So why is it we're failing to keep up? Well, you've probably heard a lot of reasons for how we got here, or that one thing that we're missing. But what if the source of the problem is bigger than all of these things? What if the education system as a whole is having to do something it's never had to do before? What if it's our system that's failed to keep up, not our educators or our students? The fact is, our economy has changed dramatically in the past 50 years. Back in 1970, out of a typical class of 30 kids, only 19 of them would graduate high school. And of those 19, only 5 would go on to get any kind of post-secondary education. And the 11 who slipped through the cracks, they could still find jobs, even without a diploma. In 1970, only 17% of jobs required any education beyond high school. But things have changed. By 2020, every student needs to graduate from high school, and fully 2/3 of the workforce will need an education beyond high school. When a teacher tells you that their job has gotten harder, this is why. Unlike 50 years ago, they now have to prepare every student to meet their full academic potential, not just some. So, how have our classrooms and our system changed to meet these new demands? For the most part, they haven't. The classroom of today looks almost the same as it did back in 1970, or even 1870. The technology might be different, but the way we structure our classrooms and schools and support our teachers and principals hasn't changed much. Our educators are doing extraordinary things every day to support students within our current system. But they face outdated working conditions that do not fully embrace their talents or recognize their critical role. And students lack access to the support systems that they need to reach their individual potential, with many coming to school without the basic foundations for learning. We're expecting our teachers and principals to prepare students for our new 21st century economy, but we're only giving them a 20th century system to work with. And what about our future educators? With little opportunity for professional growth or competitive compensation, fewer millennials are choosing education as a career. And North Carolina, like other states, is struggling to keep the great teachers we have. Put simply, the education system of the past is not meeting the needs of the future. This is the idea that drives us here at Best NC. We believe that there are only so many one-time, short-term fixes that we can make to a system that is outdated and under-delivering. we need a fundamental reimagining of education in North Carolina. As business leaders, we know that, when faced with transformational challenges, the most successful organizations in the world recruit and empower great talent, clearly define objectives and measure success, direct resources to where they are needed most, and use technology and innovation to maximize impact. The same lessons can be applied to transforming education in North Carolina. We can achieve systemic change across the whole education continuum by elevating educators, setting high standards and promoting meaningful accountability, uplifting underperforming schools and students, and personalizing teaching and learning. North Carolina has the potential to once again lead the nation in student success. Simply keeping up is no longer good enough. It's time to lead. To stay informed, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.